Today I'm going to do my full review on what I believe is one of the best Lattafa fragrances that you can currently get. And it's called Lattafa the Kingdom for Men. Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Welcome back to the channel guys, I hope that all of you are doing well. It's time for your daily dose of some fragrance content, and for today I've prepared my full review on what I believe to be one of the best Lattafa fragrances that you can currently get, and it's called Lattafa Kingdom for Men. Now, in today's video I'm going to review the fragrance and I'm going to tell you why I believe that this is one of the best Lattafas currently on the markets. Lattafa the Kingdom for Men comes packaged in a white colored box with some golden accents. The things that you should need to know about the fragrance itself: the bottle size is 100 milliliters, the concentration is EDP, and the whole packaging looks kinda nice and classy. And then the bottle itself has this sort of a dual design. On the front you get this metal and plastic part, and then on the back there's a transparent part. The back part looks kind of old schoolish. The cap again is has this sort of an dual material finish on it. The inside part is plastic, the outside has a bit of a metallic coating. I'm not a huge fan of the bottle design, but the actual packaging and the box looks really nice. But enough about packaging, presentation, bottle design. Let's talk about the more important stuff: how Lattafa the Kingdom smells, what it is similar to, how it performs, all that important things. Now, Lattafa the Kingdom is heavily inspired by Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir, which is one of my current most favorite designer fragrances, and it's a very similar scent-wise to Le Male Elixir. It has a little bit of a twist, but I'll talk about that in a second. First of all, let me show you the spray in action. Now, the spray is decent, although it's a little bit on the weak side, especially if you have not sprayed this fragrance for a day or two. The first few sprays can be, on the weak side. Just keep that in mind, because it's important when it comes to the actual performance. But the scent itself, just like the original fragrance, the opening is a very nice mix of the vanillic sweetness, the lavender sort of a freshness, and the aromatic properties of the lavender. There's quite a heavy dose of a mint freshness in the opening of this fragrance, a hint of tobacco, and maybe a little bit of a floral touch from an orange blossom note. The first few minutes, like the first minute or two, this actually feels a little bit more intense and sweeter version of Le Male Elixir, but that lasts for like a minute or two, and after that this actually turns into a little bit of a fresher take on the original scent itself. On the dry down, this becomes sweeter. The vanillic note is ramped up. There's quite a hefty dose of tonka bean sweetness and powderness as well. This fragrance feels kind of powdery on the dry down. Forgot to mention that in the opening there's quite a bit of a cardamom spiciness that transitions into a little bit of the cardamom still being present on the early dry down. The tobacco is slightly stronger on the dry down compared to the opening, and this feels a little bit has a little bit of a balsamic feel to it, because I think there's a labdanum note in here. All around, this is a very nice, very sexy fragrance that may feel a little bit harsh in the first minute or two, but after that it settles down really nicely and it smells really nice, especially in the air. And now let's move on to the similarities between Lattafa the Kingdom and the original fragrance from Jean-Paul Gaultier, and also how this is different. The similarity is that this carries a very similar scent profile, relying on a lot of the same notes, but there are a few subtle differences here and there. For starters, in the opening, in the first minute or two, Lattafa the Kingdom actually feels like a little bit more intense, slightly sweeter version of the opening of Le Male Elixir, but that lasts for a minute or two. It also feels a little bit harsher, which is to be expected because of the lower price point. But after the first few minutes, this actually turns into a little bit more of an aromatic and slightly fresher version of Le Male Elixir, and that transitions into the dry down. Also on the dry down, this feels slightly less sweet, feels slightly like having a slightly toned down tobacco note compared to the original fragrance. This feels a little bit more powdery, and I think this completely misses the note of honey which is present in the original fragrance and adds to this sticky sweetness that the original fragrance has. Lattafa the Kingdom feels a little bit less sweet, feels a little bit more aromatic, and this here relies more on vanillic and tonka bean sweetness, and also this feels a little bit more powdery. But in the air this smells very similar to the original fragrance. Performance wise, the original is an absolute beast. Lattafa, the Kingdom, unfortunately cannot touch the original when it comes to performance, but it's also way above average. In my experience over the past few weeks while I've been testing Lattafa, the Kingdom, I've been getting about 7.5, maybe up to 8 hours of performance, somewhere in that range. So it's above average performer, quite a strong fragrance, but nowhere near as strong as the original scent. Also, you should expect okayish projection in the first about hour and a half, maybe even up to 2 hours if you overspray a little bit. Price wise, at least I personally paid about 35 euros for my bottle of Lattafa the Kingdom, which makes it a good deal because the original is still quite hard to find at discounters and tends to cost quite a bit of money. And versatility wise, just like the original fragrance, this is a great cold weather scent, a great cold weather nighttime scent. It can be used as a great scent for a date night or a night out. All around a great cold weather fragrance. And at the end, a few final words about Lattafa the Kingdom. This fragrance is a very nice alternative to Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir, which is an absolutely great designer fragrance that has beastly performance and has a very sexy scent profile, but unfortunately is still quite an expensive fragrance, hard to find at discounters, and at full retail price it's very expensive. And so it's a great thing that at this point we have quite a few good clones of of the original scent, and Lattafa the Kingdom smells very similar to the original. It's not a one-to-one clone. This feels a little bit less sweet, feels a little bit more fresh, a little bit more of an aromatic version of the original fragrance, but nonetheless the quality is very good in the air, smells very similar to the original fragrance, and offers a very decent performance at I wouldn't say a fraction of the price of the original, but 1/3 of the price of the original, somewhere around that point. And I think this really is a great fragrance from the brand of Lattafa. It's a real gem, and in my opinion this is one of the best Lattafa fragrances that you can currently get, because Lattafa I think have done a great job with the copying the original fragrance being a great alternative, and because I absolutely love the original scent, Lattafa the Kingdom will get a huge like from me. And so guys, in today's video I reviewed what I believe is one of the best Lattafa fragrances that you can currently get. Lattafa the Kingdom for men, a great alternative for something like Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. I hope that you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me tomorrow for your daily dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.